Hey guys, and welcome back to Power Metal Gamer. Today I'm going to do a video that I've wanted to do for the last week, but I was so busy I barely got to record any sort of coverage, or no coverage whatsoever on E3. So now I completely caught up with everything that's on E3 this year, and man, it was one hell of a show. Today I'm going to go over 5 games I'm super excited about that were announced at E3 this year. There was a ton of excellent titles announced, and I had to really think about what makes it on this list. Here they are in no particular order. So the first one out of the bag, and it's always a series I'm excited for, is the latest installment in the long run Assassin's Creed series, Assassin's Creed Odyssey. I know a few years ago I got burned out in the series after Unity. I know Rogue should have been the big game that year, not Unity. I think I just missed the pirate setting of Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag too much. So moving on, after a 2-year break from the series, we got this last year's incredible Assassin's Creed Origins that was set in ancient Egypt. The game was so innovative and fresh that it changed everything in terms of gameplay and added a great leveling up system, much like an RPG. It really made me fall in love with the series all over again. So this year, Assassin's Creed's got me hyped again. Assassin's Creed Odyssey will be set in ancient Greece, 400 years before Origins. I don't know why it's called, the other game's called Origins, when this Greece thing was like 400 years ago. So you play as a Spartan mercenary during the Peloponnesian War, and the game will feature a lot more role-playing elements, dialogue choices, branching paths, and different endings depending on how you play. So the player has to pick between 2 characters, and they're both descendants of the Spartan king Leonidas. Yes, that one from 300. You can either play as a male character called Alexios or a female character called Cassandra. They're trying to appease both sexes. The game will feature an improved visceral combat system on last year's, with a ton of upgradable weapons and armor pieces which look fucking awesome. Naval combat's also back, and I really do love naval combat in these games. I think Ubisoft have that nailed down. Hail the fire arrows on that ship, boys! Woo! So the next game I'm super pumped for is the return of the Devil May Cry series with Devil May Cry 5. Holy shit, I am super stoked for this. I am super stoked for this. We're finally getting a new game in the original series and not another reboot. I didn't actually mind that reboot at all, actually. I love the combat. I think Ninja Theory did a great job with that, but nothing's going to beat the original series over at Capcom. So yeah, when this was announced, I was scratching my head. The video starts off with a short white-haired guy which kind of looks like Ninja Theory Dante, and I was like, oh fuck no. There's going to be a ton of pissed off Devil May Cry fans out there if so. Then we see the guy's robot arm and his revolver like going with a double-handed barrel, and was like, ah, that must be Nero from Devil May Cry 4. Where's Dante? That's all that was going through my head. And then the trailer progressed, and you see some guy with a cloak cutting off Nero's demon arm, and there was blood spewing everywhere and stuff, and I was like, holy shit, was that fucking Virgil? And I was like, holy shit, Virgil is going to be the big bad in Devil May Cry 5. And I was like, yes, sign me up. Then the trailer ends and you can see Dante driving towards the screen on a motorbike with a big smirk on his face. And I had a super erection. And then I seen some gameplay afterwards and was like, whoa, sign me up. The game had a realistic looking environment and art style, and the animation looks so damn fluid. Huge bosses, tons of action, everything you expect from the series we've grown to love. Like seriously, we haven't had anything from the main series in like what, 10 years since Devil May Cry 4? Thank you, Capcom. This is what we, the fans, have been crying out for years now. And while you're on the streak there, Capcom, can we see another Onimusha series? Please? Now the next game took me by surprise. We saw a small little teaser trailer last year at E3 where there's like a twisting arm mechanism and a message saying shadows die twice, and from the developer From Software. For ages people kept thinking Bloodborne 2, and some of my friends were actually speculating that it's a new game in the Tenchu series and From Soft owned that license. So it's a possibility that it could have been a Tenchu game. Then I watched the trailer and I was like, yes, Tenchu. And then it's like Tenchu with Dark Souls gameplay. I was like, what's this? The mad grappling hook that's used to traverse around the environment and can be used in battle against big demon enemies. Then the trailer ended and my jaw was on the floor, and I was like, Wow, and then the title of the game popped up and I was like, Sekiro Shadows Die Twice. I looked more into this and found out that the game is set in the late 1500s Sengoku period Japan. It's the most dark and interesting period of Japanese history. You play as a shinobi that set out to save his lord, and he's on a path of revenge. He gets his arm cut off and he gets replaced with a prosthetic grappling hook, and demons have invaded, and you have to take them all down and save Japan. Combat looks absolutely crazy. It's fast and you're grappling up on demons on horseback and slashing away. The enemies look gruesome and detailed, as to be expected from Miyazaki and the FromSoft team. It looks like there's stealth in the game too, like climbing on rooftops, scoping out enemy patterns, taking them down silently. It looks incredible. It's like Dark Souls meets Neo meets Tenchu, and everything in that package I love. I'm super hyped for this. So that Tomato trailer blew me away. I want to see more on this game as time progresses. We might see some more at the PlayStation conference in a couple of months. We don't know, or Gamescom. Okay, the next one, speaking of Japanese setting, the next big game I'm excited for is a game from the studio Sucker Punch, and it's called Ghost of Tsushima. At Paris Games Week late last year, we seen the trailer that reminded me of the movie, you know, The Last Samurai with Tom Cruise. It had that same kind of feeling and film work in the trailer that just kind of really reminded me of that movie. This year we got a 9-minute gameplay trailer, and good fuck, it looks incredible. The trailer starts off with a samurai walking through what looks like a gravesite, and there's like some woman crying on the ground. He calls his horse and he starts riding down through an absolutely stunning and beautiful countryside, grass blown in the wind, and it looks like it's like kind of late evening. Then he comes across these invading Mongol infantrymen, and they're like torturing innocent civilians. And then we get our first look at the combat. One of the guys like attacks your character. Your character unsheathes his blade and cuts him down on one strike, and then he begins and parries and does all this amazing samurai shit to the other guys. Cuts off one of their arms, and I was like, oh shit, good dismemberment. Whoa, the combat is looks so satisfying. Then he meets up with some woman and they go to save some monk in the temple, and then we see some stealth aspects to the game. He climbs up onto a roof, scopes out the room, and jumps down, killing like 4 or 5 dudes in quick succession like a ninja. Or it kind of reminds me of the Batman Arkham Knight when he does the multiple stealth takedown move. It looks amazing. After looking into this game a bit more, I found out a ton of information. It's set in like 1274 on the island of Tsushima during the first invasion of the Mongol army. You play as a samurai called Sakai, and he has to master the way of the ninja to defeat and cripple the Mongol invaders and like free Japan, give them independence from the Mongol invaders. Supposedly it's going to be a huge open world with a ton of side quests, interactable characters, horse riding, no on-screen map to guide you through unknown areas. It's going to feature stealth, combat. There's no release date confirmed. I can see this releasing sometime in mid-2019, but I'm super hyped for this too. Now for the biggest game that completely stole the show for me. It's something that us fans have been asking for since 2002 when Capcom released the terrifying remake of Resident Evil 1 on the GameCube. Yes, the game I'm talking about right now is the mind-blowing Resident Evil 2 remake. From the trailer to the gameplay footage, we heard nothing about it for the past 3 years since E3 2015. That time the guy came out with the Resident Evil remake on the screen. He's like, we do it. We do it, something like that. It's pretty funny. Anyways, for the past few years, us fans here have speculated how Capcom would tackle the remake, and it's such an iconic game in the series, and how would they do it justice, you know? If some of you don't already know, Resident Evil 2 is my favourite game in the series, so initially I was actually terrified that they'd make Resident Evil 7, make it like Resident Evil 7 and put it like in first person, or even worse, make it an action game like Resident Evil 6. Don't get me wrong, I really did enjoy Resident Evil 7 for what it was. It had a lot of elements that made it like classic Resident Evil. Lack of bullets, storage chest, typewriter like save rooms. That's a topic for another video completely. Then there was the fear of the whole over the shoulder aspect with lack of fixed camera. The fixed camera angles made the original games what they are, give the player a sense of dread, not knowing what's around the corner. It made it more terrifying and suspenseful. So I was very skeptical of Capcom's delivery on this game, but to my surprise, what they showcased at Sony's E3 really swept me off my feet and blew me away out the door. First off, the game looks absolutely gorgeous. It's running on the Resident Evil engine that was used in Resident Evil 7. It's an over-the-shoulder perspective in gameplay, and there's no more fixed camera. I'm kind of okay with it. We didn't get to see the outside of the Raccoon City streets or, you know, Kendo's gun shop or anything like that, but we got to see what's inside of the Raccoon Police Department. The whole layout of the police station has changed drastically since the original. As to be expected, the hallways are like filled with blood and mayhem. It's so dark that you actually have to use a flashlight to navigate through zombie infested hallways. There's like one scene where Leon saves an officer from underneath the shutter. When he pulls him through, half of him is gone. I'm like, holy shit, that gore was immense. Speaking of gore, when you shoot zombies in the limbs, you can they can be dismembered. With headshots, you can see chunks of flesh and skull come apart, and the zombie still attacks you with half his head missing. It's the stuff of nightmares. We get a glimpse of the Licker and Mr. X in the trailer, but we don't see any of the dogs or the other monsters just yet. I can't wait to see what William Birkin looks like, but I'm afraid to see what the spiders in the sewers look like. I fucking hate spiders. The game looks absolutely incredible, and I'm really looking forward to the release date. Mark the 25th of January 2019 in your calendars, folks, because that's the day us Resident Evil fans are going to rejoice at the return of the king of survival horror. I'm so hyped for Resident Evil. So guys, there was a lot more games that were showcased at the event, but these are 5 games that I really look forward to seeing in the future. Do let me know down in the comments below what games you're excited for. If you're into that stupid fucking, you know, Gears of War pop game that's coming out, it's absolutely ridiculous. And someone in the comments actually said that they're rebranding the Gears of War franchise to Gears. So shout out to you, Mr. Kia, or whatever your name is, dude. So yeah, I'll leave it at that. So guys, thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that bell below for future notifications on the channel. And I will catch you later. And as always, keep the power.